Welcome to On Cloud, the podcast for cloud professionals, where we break down the state of cloud computing today and how you can unleash the power of cloud for your enterprise.
Welcome back to the On Cloud podcast. I'm Sahithi Bayana, Managing Director here at Deloitte, and I'm here with Ashwin Patil, a principal at Deloitte. And as a quick intro about me, I'm a leader within the app rationalization space at Deloitte, and I specialize in guiding our clients through the strategic optimization of their application portfolios. So with that, I will hand it off to Ashwin for a quick intro.
Thank you, Sahithi. I'm a leader in our AI and data practice, and I spend all my time helping clients focus on core data, cloud, on-prem implementation of large-scale programs around data and AI, essentially building outcome-focused analytical capabilities to drive actionable business value through data.
Perfect. So today we wanted to dive a little bit into app rationalization and the state of affairs within AI and Gen AI and how they're all integrated together. So I wanted to give a little bit of background around how we view and think about app rationalization as a process at different client environments. So when we look at an application portfolio within any client organization, our goal is to identify redundancies, inefficiencies, any sort of opportunities for consolidation with an eventual objective to eliminate or upgrade outdated systems so you are in alignment with your business goals for the most cost optimized environment. And with that, I wanted to give Ashwin a little bit of a chance to talk through the trends within AI and Gen AI as well before we can talk through the integrated process.
Of course. So, Sahithi, as the space around AI, Gen AI, is exploding with new technologies and new capabilities being churned out there in the marketplace. And really, what's happening is, as the technology has evolved now, the speed and the compute power that's available through AI to essentially parse through large amounts of complex data in varied environment locations has gone up through the roof in being able to then drive data-focused decisions to make value come out of your data, right? So whether that's identifying where there are anomalies or identifying how trends are working, or frankly, making somewhat of a hypothesis-based testing and scenario analysis, all of that is now possible through the current AI and Gen AI capabilities that are out there.
I love that. And I think with that, Ashwin, there is an interesting trend that we're noticing where app rationalization activities are driving more and more AI automation or Gen AI related trends. And also the vice versa is true where Gen AI and AI are driving app rationalization in a way to optimize whether it's business needs or financial efficiencies and or generally operational efficiencies. So I wanted to quickly touch upon how AppRat within this space, we're noticing AI and Gen AI being evolved. And then perhaps I can hand it off to you to talk through how AI and Gen AI starting point is driving app rationalization opportunities as well. I think there are three key trends that I'm noticing from AppRat to Gen AI evolution. And I think the very first one we've noticed is the operational inefficiencies, where there are opportunities of areas of manual processes and that are time consuming and or error prone, where you could bring in automation and make it that much more efficient. And then the second thing that we're noticing is essentially within the data overload space, which I'm sure you're wanting to probably explore more and dive into, but we look for applications that handle large volumes of data, but lack advanced analytical capabilities. And that's a key area of opportunity to bring in AI and Gen AI capabilities to make that much more robust. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is probably the most important for every organization out there, customer experience, where we focus on applications that directly impact customer interactions and could benefit from personalization or automation. But wanted to take your thoughts on some of the trends you're noticing as well, Ashwin.
Yeah, the trends are fairly broad that I'm seeing in terms of usage, right? So when you think about the core capabilities that are required to drive some of the things that you've mentioned here around operational inefficiencies or manage the data overload or think about customer experience, most people think about the things that naturally come out, which is, oh, I can do predictive analysis, or I can drive some level of robotic automation or process automation through using AI and data technologies, or doing data analysis faster by building AI algorithms and models that help you analyze data. With the help of Gen AI, though, the aperture has broadened a fair bit, right? So when you think about natural language processing and the ability to ask questions and get answers in natural language by looking at curation of content in the background, looking at both structured and unstructured information, thinking about what things are happening, not just in terms of transactional data, but also looking at operational data, what is happening in terms of the code that actually works on the data, thinking about driving aspects of personalization, thinking about the simulative capabilities or self-learning, self-healing capabilities as it pertains to AI models. That's really transforming the way people have traditionally thought about using AI and Gen AI capabilities to what exists today and what people are leveraging.
I love that. So with that, I also want us to bring to a quick conclusion here in noticing how app rationalization efforts are driving AI and Gen AI and vice versa. Any thoughts on how we want to summarize this bigger, broader discussion into maybe bites of chunks for our audience?
Yes, absolutely. Look, I would think about it largely in maybe three areas, right? The first area is the analysis of usage patterns and performance metrics, right? So as you think about applying predictive analytics, automation, observability, some of these types of capabilities to say what applications are being used in what way, by whom, and how efficiently are those applications being leveraged, right? This is where a lot of process mining can also be leveraged in terms of input information or benchmarking information to identify where we've got anomalies or areas of optimization available. The second is really matching up the business value with the cost efficiency you can get from driving app rationalization, right? And this is where there's a heavy amount of customer related influence that can come in, as well as where a company wants to go in terms of driving their interaction, their exchange, both internally as well as externally, whether it's customers, whether it's partners, and so on. So we are leveraging a lot of those personalization capabilities and the ability to manage the interaction between applications through agent AI and other frameworks to drive a low latency way of interaction across different applications to drive business value. Thirdly, it's focused around integration and interoperability. So whether it's master data that you're fixing at the core, or whether it's managing a data mesh-like environment where you don't have to aggregate all of your enterprise data into one place, and you're looking at essentially a unified platform and architecture network to drive that data integration and drive that interoperability and commonality around key domains of information to truly understand how your data is synchronized across the organization is going to play a big role in terms of how you're not only driving the app rationalization process, but also how are you making sure that business as usual is not getting affected because you've got data that's lost in the bargain of rationalization or data that's no longer available for querying and analysis. So those are the three areas that I feel customers have to be thinking about most as they think about app rationalization and the use of AI and Gen AI data capabilities.
That's fantastic, Ashwin. And if I can add one more success criteria to unlocking this potential integration between AI and Gen AI to AppRat is how can you possibly measure as you take on this journey? Once you identified your business case, once you identify your use case for that business case, and making sure you're putting all the right checks and balances, ensuring that ROI is actually real and you're tracking against all your investments that you put in. I think that is exactly what is needed early on to set up for you to get to that meet the matter quicker and making sure that you're doing all the right things for the organization. So with that said, I truly appreciate your time, Ashwin, and we're really happy to be sharing this type of integration and the evolution of trends between different capabilities and how they're coming together to solve our client solutions. So please feel free to reach out to Ashwin, or I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Sahithi Bayana, and I am predominantly focused on healthcare clients, but always interested in app rationalization and evolving this capability. Ashwin?
Thank you, Sahithi. As we leave here, I want to make sure that everybody hears three concluding things that they take away with, right? Number one, there's a lot of technology evolution that's happening here in this space, and understanding what can be leveraged so that you don't have to start from ground zero and build anything foundational is important. So leverage partners, leverage assets and accelerators as you're trying to go through this journey. Number two, take a broad enterprise view as you think about things like application rationalization and the application of AI and Gen AI. Taking that broader view is going to ensure that you're not only approaching this from a technology footprint front, but also looking at it from the standpoint of how your organization is going to be pervasively driving the usage of these technologies and how you're going to drive that into your business on a day-to-day basis. And then last, make sure that you have measurable success criteria along the way so that you are getting an effective view of return on investment as you drive through this area. If you keep these three things in mind and walk away with leveraging the use of AI and Gen AI into driving your app rationalization process, you're going to drive tremendous success and value out of it. Thank you, Sahithi, for having me.
Thank you all.
This podcast is produced by Deloitte. The views and opinions expressed by podcast speakers and guests are solely their own and do not reflect the opinions of Deloitte. This podcast provides general information only and is not intended to constitute advice or services of any kind. For additional information about Deloitte, go to deloitte.com/about.